for this another video, the naturally not showing. Right, so we're here live again for this another video. I have a song in my spirit that I'm just going to be singing at this moment until I see some persons joining the live. Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be where you are, across the hottest desert. I'll travel near or far for your glory. Welcome, guys. I will do anything just to see you, yes, to behold you as my King. Said, Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting. Thank you, Tashi, to be where you are, across the hottest desert. I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. All right, so I want to welcome all of you. It is no Tashi, welcome. I thank you again, Tashi. Thank you so much. Now, this is a live that was requested from yesterday's live, and I am just bringing it to you guys. So, welcome to this another power chat with Shan here on Naturally Candid. My name is Shannon, and if you haven't already, please hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you guys can know when I upload, and don't forget to hit like on this live. Okay, Nadinola Thomas says, I love your background. Thank you so much, Nadinola. It was given to me from one of my Instagram followers, and I'm gonna go ahead and highlight her now. Her name is Rush Crafts. You can go ahead and check her out when you're through watching this live for any of your paper quilt art or any pieces that you'd like to do. All right, so thank you guys for coming. As I was mentioning earlier, this live was a live that was requested from yesterday's live, and so of course I will be bringing to you what you guys want to hear. The Heart Speaks says checking in. Thank you so much for checking in. The Heart Speaks. So tonight's discussion, my NC gang, will be on the topic depression. Depression. Now, what do y'all know about depression? Hi, Tanja. Good night, girl. Good night. Thank you so much for joining the live. Please, guys, don't forget to hit like for the live. Thank you so much for joining. So yes, as I was mentioning, the topic is depression. Does anybody know anything about depression? Let's see. Yes, go Shannon from Fletcher. Hi, Fletcher, baby. Thank you so much, Fletcher, for joining us. Hi, Arlene Youngson. Thank you so much. Desh, thank you for coming. Hi, Desh. Nice to meet you. I think I'm seeing you on the live for the first time. Thank you so much for coming. All right, I think we can pretty much get started because I think I have enough of you to get started. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Now, tonight's topic is about depression. Now, I decided that I wanted to start by telling you guys what depression is. Now, let me put a disclaimer out there. I am no psychologist. I am not a psychiatrist either. But I have a piece of information that I can share. Now, being that it was a requested video, it's not my strong area, but I did some research so we could come on here and have a discussion about it. All right? So, let me get into the definition. So, according to the American Psychiatric Association, depression is a common and serious illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Now, for me, I think, and let me know what y'all think in the chat. For me, I think that depression um, is a word that can be used loosely. And when I say use loosely, I mean in the sense where people use the word thinking that they're depressed when they're actually not depressed, but they're just going through a phase at that point. And it's funny. It's funny. Oh, sometimes we think that, we are going through depression, but it's really not depression. Depression is more so something that is lasting and consistent. It's not a one-time thing. You don't just get up today and you're depressed and then tomorrow you're gone back to normal again. No. Depression is a point where it's a part of your emotional cycle where if it gets out of control, you literally feel like you are the only person in this world. Hi guys, welcome to the new persons who have joined this live. Please don't forget to hit like, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscription button as well. Yes, as I was mentioning, depression is a place, it can put you in a place where you literally feel like you are the only person in existence in your world. That's how bad depression is. And so I feel like we literally use the term loosely. All right, so let me share an experience that I had that, you know, I really thought I was going through a phase of depression, literally. I feel like I didn't have control of the circumstance. I feel like I didn't have my life in order. At this point of my life, it was the darkest period ever. I never want to repeat that part of my life again. But I'm going to share that with y'all. Abby Fletcher said, that's the first thing came to mind. I said it's used loosely. Yes, it is. It's a term that is, I realize it's a term that is used very loosely. And it's also a disorder or an illness that is also overlooked at times. So there are a lot of persons, you'd be surprised to know, there are a lot of persons suffering from depression, but not much attention is given to the persons who are actually suffering from depression. And it's very sad because these normally lead to bigger issues, right? Such as suicide. But as I was saying, I'm gonna share my experience. Like, I come this close to being depressed. Sometimes we're just stressed, not depressed. Exactly. And Abby Fletcher, as the nurse, you know how that can go sometimes, right? Sometimes it's not depression, but it's stress. But we're going to get into that in a few. Now, this was the point of my life when I thought I was depressed. Realize I said I thought. I was not depressed. I just thought I was depressed. At the time, I was going through an issue in terms of relationship. You just meet you and this person coming from a far place, and you get your acts together, and you and the person basically share similar characteristics. Time was invested, your love was invested. And if you want me to come on here and talk about like some relationship stuff too, you can mention that, as this is a forum for power chat conversations. Yes, so I felt like, my world was crumbling when the person and I broke up. And, there were a lot of persons who were looking, like, them literally looking for your relationship to break up. And that was one of the kind of situations that I ended up in, where persons really wanted the person who I was talking to. So they were literally sitting to wait until the person and I broke up. But anyways, the long and short of the story, it was really an emotional phase, and that is what depression feeds from, your emotions. So once you end up in a situation where you are really emotionally averse to a certain circumstance, then depression can definitely creep in. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you will officially be considered to be depressed. Anyways, when I went through that phase, and you really can't, you feel so humiliated, so left out, so abandoned. You don't really want to talk to anybody about your situation. And that is where I'm going to advise y'all to please talk to people. So even if you are not a person like me who you can probably handle the situation on your own. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody is able to handle their situations on their own. So sometimes we often need somebody to talk to. And I said this in my live last night as well. Guys, please to like the live if you haven't already. Right. And so it would help to kind of shoulder you or kind of give you a little pillow or a relaxation mood to help to stop you from getting depressed. So I had my mom, of course. My mother is like my best friend. She's my confidant. She is there through thick and thin when it comes down to my problem. Guys, give me a second because the cat are really gonna make me fight it. Give me a second. Get away from there. Thank you so much, y'all, for being patient. My cat just loves cords, and as a result of that, she she kind of plugged out the cord that had the light for y'all to see me clearly. All right, as I was saying, my mom is my ultimate supporter. Leave Liam alone, no, please. Tanja is not Liam, you know. This one is Chloe, and she very troublesome. She trouble every card in the house. You know, Liam do that one here. Yes, so my mom is like my ultimate supporter, and I needed her at that moment so that I did not get depressed. And I confided in her for pretty much anything. Mark you, when my secret leave with my mother, at least nobody can go to her, go tell her, say, this is what your daughter out here do, this or whatever, because she don't know already, because me tell her first. You understand? Good. So it's important for us to have that confident, that person who we can safely say yes, we can speak to that person in the situation so that it doesn't drain us, so that it doesn't put us in the state of depression. And so my mom was that person. It saved me from a lot of mess that I would have been in. And you know, when you are depressed, you can kind of feel like you are the only person in the world. Like you are the only person. There's nobody you can talk to. I've never been depressed, but based on the researches that I've conducted, I know for sure that this is true. I have a friend. I don't know if any of you on here felt like you were depressed before, but you can share that in the chat if you have, and let us have a discussion around it. But I have a friend that is very dear to me, very, very close to me, and unfortunately, she suffers from depression. And as a friend of the person who is suffering from depression, it's very hard to deal with it, very challenging, because guess what now, what that person would have found happy or found joyful is no longer of any substance or value to her, because she's so caught up in her emotions that you can literally be there sitting with her and she don't even know say the right there. So it's like depression can put you in a state where you are in the space physically, but mentally you're gone, right? And I find that that happens to her a lot, and I don't know how to deal with it as a friend, and I see wherein it has hold her back in terms of progressiveness and productivity. Depression has been like an enemy to her, right? What depression does is it makes you feel sad. Sadness is the number one emotion felt when someone is depressed, unfortunately. And I think everybody has an experience of what sadness feels like, and that is not something I would want to wish on somebody permanently. It's like you're in your own body being an enemy to yourself. That's basically what depression feels like, because imagine going through an emotion of sadness for the rest of your life. It's like a permanent kind of thing. And if you're not on medication, there's absolutely no way of fixing the issue. Arlene Young Sam says, people experience depression in different ways. It's a mood disorder, feeling of sadness, anger that interfere with a person's everyday activity. Precisely. And when someone is depressed, imagine if you are depressed, how do you get things done when all you can think about is how you can get rid of that sad mood, how you can get rid of that sad energy? For me, I don't like sadness. I don't like it. I don't like to project negativity on other persons. I don't. It's just not a part of me. Like right now, I'm not feeling well, but I made a commitment last night on the live last night that I will be doing this live tonight. So I have no excuse. I don't have any excuse. Success don't come with excuses. So I made a commitment and I stuck to that tonight. Now, imagine being depressed. You can't just turn off the switch and turn it on whenever. You don't have the control over that. It's just like an emotion that literally drives itself. Sadness is not a happy place to be. It's not a comfortable place to be. And to be constantly sad, stressed, and constantly in your thoughts, that's not comfortable. So you can very well imagine a person who is depressed. And let me just go ahead and say this too for you guys who are here with me tonight. You can't know when somebody's depressed. You can't just look at them and say, oh, that person is depressed. It doesn't show on them, right? That's why I find it's so hurtful to see when people say hurtful things to other persons, because you don't know where they're at mentally. You don't know what they're going through mentally. There's something in Jamaica that people are always doing, and that is to body shame people, whether them say them too skinny or them too fat or them look funny. They keep body shaming people, and you know what, it's not good to do, right? Before I continue on that, the Heart Speak says, the psychological term for the loss of interest in things you use to find joy in is called anhedonia. Very good. And that is also a form of depression, right? I was doing the research and I bumped up in that word as well. And it was stated that was a form of depression, right? And even depression can even cause persons to lose sleep, which is insomnia, or it can cause persons to overeat. It can cause persons to undereat. All of these are symptoms of depression, but I'll soon get into that. What I'm saying is that we ought to be very careful with the words that we say to persons. We ought to be careful with how we communicate certain things to people. Because one thing I know for sure is when the persons are depressed, they are very conscious of their entire being, right? And they're very sensitive at that point too. So imagine you go to somebody and say, lad, you could come here today, and that person is depressed. Or lad, you could fix up yourself to the man or whatever. Imagine doing that to someone who is depressed. They're already so conscious of all that they're going through, and then come and add fire to fury. Which is why I thought it was such an important topic for us to talk about, because I don't feel like a lot of us are informed about it. And so we end up, hurting or causing more harm to persons who are going through depression. All right, and number one thing that happens to persons who are depressed is that they experience depression is a slaughterer of persons who tries to be successful. Definitely, I agree. Depression, anxiety, both of them are slaughterers for persons who are trying to be successful, because now you focus your energy on finding solutions to how you can get over the depression, instead of focusing the energy on actually creating something that you really love. Ayadre says, for real, for real, for real. Guys who are just joining the live, let me just interject a bit and tell you all to please remember to like the live. Thank you so much. Right. So when I look at how persons would treat other people, not knowing the circumstances that they're going through internally, I look at it and I say, boy, human, we're so insensitive, and you know some of us don't even understand. You see, if we just get a little bit of understanding, which is why education on these topics are very important. As I was saying in the live last night, I am trying to attack all those emotional internal topics and issues that might affect a person's being before I start talking about the finances, because I realize that these emotional traumas, emotional stress and stuff actually takes away from an individual's productivity. It isn't a form of depression but rather a symptom. Well, based on what I was researching, I'm not saying that you were wrong. Like I said, I'm no psychologist nor psychiatrist. Based on research that I have done, they said that it was a form of it as well. All right. So thank you though, Sade, for that. Thank you so much. All right. So one of the things that will happen to you as a person being depressed is that you'll experience, as I said earlier, sadness. You would want to probably, some persons, how they do this or they deal with depression is that they eat, or some persons undereat, and there are definitely other symptoms as well. Those are just a few of the major symptoms, right? I have not been depressed before, as I've said before, but I have come across persons who were going through depression. Like I said, a closest friend to me, she's never out of sadness. And no matter how much good is happening in her life, she's just never happy. And it took me a while to understand why that was the case, because I couldn't understand it. I'm like, girl, look on all of this niceness that go on in your life, all these festivities. You get married, you're having your children, and you're still sad. How you for sad? And that was just me being insensitive. I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know how to deal with her experiencing that. And so I was insensitive. And I could not be the shoulder for her to lean on because I did not understand. I still don't know how to deal with it, but I'm trying to cope a little bit better now. And let me tell you, this depression is traveling with this individual from as far back as high school. And if it goes untreated, it can get worse. So if you find that you are going through a series of depression, I am going to tell you that you must please go and get professional help. It can get worse. It can lead to situations like suicide. It can lead to you being of unsound mind. That's how bad depression can get. Depression can kill you, right? Especially if you do not have somebody who you can literally communicate with about how you feel in that space. It can kill you. So I'm asking you, please, if you find that you are really and truly going through depression, not an act of feeling depressed in the moment of sadness, but if you find that you are consistently going through depression, please go and seek professional help. Cabrina says real talk. Hi Cabrina, welcome queen, welcome. Right, because what I realize is that for persons who are depressed, they will lash out on you if you respond to them a certain type of way. And it's not even, it sounds simple, but sometimes they don't even know. And it's for us to look at the situation and try and say, you know what, I realize that this is a certain type of behavior that you're displaying. You want to go to the doctor and try and get it checked out to see if it's something that you can sort out, because they will lash out on you being the regular individual that don't understand. Stephanie Samuel said, certain situations in which a person didn't expect to happen will drive a person in that state. Not everyone has a high threshold for brushing off and get on with life. Exactly, Stephanie. I completely agree with you. And that is something I mentioned earlier in the live, that maybe how I deal with my situations, meaning that maybe I can tolerate certain things and I can deal with certain stuff on my own. But there are literally some of you who literally needs to speak to somebody about what is going on, right? And so for that, if you don't trust the persons who you are around, or you cannot find that individual that you can confide in, it is important for you to seek professional advice, professional counseling on the matter, and get help, get help. Because the longer you wait to get help is the worse the situation gets. Nadinola says it is also a medical condition. Definitely so. Stephanie says, I have been there with my spouse, and counseling and encouragement from family and close friends got me through, and I'm in a better place now. You go, girl. You go. I'm so happy for you. I'm very, very happy for you, because you see, you just hit the nail on the head by saying that you need to speak, you need to talk. And oftentimes persons who suffer from depression wants to keep things internalized. And so the matter gets worse. You can't internalize problems. They will kill us. They will eat us up alive. All right. Kimberly says, Marich, but I want to sleep. Big up yourself. Be still. Kimberly, yes, thank you for the hashtag be still from yesterday's live. Thank you for stopping in. I'm not stay long with you tonight. Don't worry about it. You can go and, stop in a little bit more with us. Right. And as Stephanie said, that she spoke to counseling with her spouse, and she spoke to family, and she spoke with close friends. It's important to talk. One thing I've learned in life, and is that the way to get out of the problem is to speak about it. Is to speak about it, because to be honest with you, I am one of those persons who, when something is bothering me, and this is not good, this is completely wrong, but when something is bothering me, I would want to internalize it in the moment. So it's a case where I don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't want nobody talk to me. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to deal with it by myself, on my own. And guess what that does to me? That make me think a bag of things, and that's how a lot of friendships are lost. A lot of relationships are lost. That's how all these things seep in, right? I think a lot of stuff because I'm saying to myself, how, you sit there and you just have your thoughts by yourself. You think about them, and you just internalize whatever it is that was bothering you. And as a result of that, it can cause other problems like depression. So I am imploring you guys, if you find that you have symptoms of depression, you can always Google it. Google is there for everybody. If you see that you have symptoms of depression, please to seek professional advice. If you're talking to your friends, your family, and your close friend, and it not working, it not work out completely, get professional advice, because you alone cannot do it. You understand me? There are certain things in life that you alone cannot manage to do. No matter how you think, how strong you think you are, all of us have a breaking point. Whether we believe it or not, we were created in a particular way where we're never supposed to experience negative situations. So when negativity comes to us, it's hard. It's very hard for us to deal with that. You understand? And the realities of life is that nothing will always be good. Nothing will stay consistently good. So it's important for us to seek advice where necessary. All right? As it concerns depression, guys, I just think that we need to be educated a little bit more on it. Especially for Jamaica. We take everything make joke. We take everything make joke, and it is not something to joke about. It is so serious that it can cause other damages to even other individuals. Cabrina says, I'm really happy you are bringing light to this. I feel like this is an issue that many of us in the Jamaican and overall black community have been taught to suppress. I agree, Cabrina. I agree. Because we look upon it and say, oh, mad people alone experience them something there. Them mad and whatever. When the reality of life is a lot of normal looking people are experiencing it. And then when we find out that there's a particular person who is on medication, we make fun of them. You understand me? We are from a culture that suppresses these things and these issues, and we laugh after it, and we jeer persons who are going through these issues. How do we fix that? How can we move from a society that takes everything for joke to really highlighting some of the real issues that people are having? And I chose to mention these issues because I realized that they are not spoken about. They're not being discussed. Everybody talking about things like how you can earn this, or you can get that, or you can do that, and nobody's talking about the root of it all. Because if up your son are right, nothing else not going to be right. You understand me? If your mind not going on properly, you're gonna have a problem with everything else in your life. It's like it just is a domino effect. Once your mind think it, it come into fruition. Abby Fletch says, can't reinforce the professional help thing. Lost 2 male friends from suicide and you did not know. I bet you never know, say your male friends them they go through a bag of things that they were this close to losing their life. I bet you never know that. Depression. And why persons kill themselves over depression is that they feel alone. They just want to get rid of their pain like right now, right now. Let me leave something with you on that matter. I was listening to a TED Talk today because I wanted to be, well equipped and have information flowing when I came on the live today. I didn't want to misinform anybody. But I was listening to a TED Talk today. And the person who was conducting the TED Talk, I'm metal say really touched me, was a person who was suffering from depression. Now, this is what the person said to me. The person said in general, but it really touched me. The person said that he was going through a series of depression from childhood days, from picnic days, come straight into adulthood, right? And he almost took his life more than once. And this is what he said. He said that experiencing depression is such a lonely place. It's such a lonely place. You feel lonely all the time. It's not that there are nobody around you, but when them come around you, you are there, they're around you, and you're only hearing what's in your mind. So though they're talking to you, you're not focused on what they're saying to you. Because he was going through it so bad that every sound they made, he did hear. He said he almost took his life twice. I think it was twice or 3 times. He almost took his life. And then he bumped up in somebody. The person wasn't a psychologist, but the person asked him, are you sure you want to take your life now? Or you want to get rid of the sadness? And when the person asked that question, I was like, wow, I didn't look at it that way. The person said, are you sure you want to take your life? No. Or it is just that you want to get rid of the sadness. And he said, when he took the time out and he reflected, he just literally just wanted to get rid of the sadness. That's all he wanted. He didn't want to die. And he said in that moment when he realized that he did not want to die, that was the beginning of change for him. So sometimes we just need that person to just be honest with us, to just tell us the truth, right? And don't go around us. Let me go right here to see what so Abby Fletch said. This all came from depression. Same thing, I never know. And then she said there is hotlines you can call to Hon. Yes, Abby, could you just get the hotlines and type them in the chat so that others can see? Because I know that there are lots of persons suffering from depression and they sometimes are afraid to talk. Ayadre says this society feeds off negativity. Unfortunately, that is the reality. I am hurt by that, but what are we going to do? We can't do a thing. We are young family. Hi, my fellow YouTuber. We are young family says, hey Shannon, I swear great minds think alike. This is what Obi and I planned on talking about on our live. We are young family, I don't know, but me you always I think alike for some reason. Stephanie Samuel says, agree 100%. The mind is a terrible thing to lose. Very much so. Because in your mind is where it generates all the thoughts. It powers your thoughts. And it lets you play out on those emotions and thoughts. So if your mind is not at a good place, you are doomed for trouble. Abby Fletch said, love this topic on, especially during this COVID period. A lot of persons are suffering from, I think you want to say a lot of persons are suffering from depressed or became depressed, very much so. And that is exactly why I chose to speak about this topic, because even for myself, sometimes I feel drained, man, nah lie, yo. Sometimes I feel drained, I feel stressed right out, I feel tired. I feel really tired sometimes, and it's not that I have problem more than anybody else, but I am having different problems now that I never used to have, and that is mainly because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and I am home. You understand me? So it's a different set of problems coming being home and readjusting yourself. You know, that change, that just the change just drop on you. You just have to be adjusting on your own, just like that, without any little warning, any little ping, any little Bluetooth, any little WhatsApp. And you just have to be adjusting to all this change. It can be very overwhelming, right? And I find that I get overwhelmed a lot lately, and that is because of anxiety, because I'm not depressed, but I'm anxious all the time. And I spoke about anxiety in my previous live. You can check that out when you're done. But COVID-19, so, and not everybody is strong to cope with it. Not everybody can deal with this. And you know, to be honest, there are a lot of persons who are very sad at home. They're very sad at home, so going outside was their only little ray of hope for coping. You can imagine those persons, and I'm gonna speak for the children because I'm an educator by profession. I'm a really feel it for the children, even more so than the adults. I know there are a lot of adults going through this, and a lot of adults are, you know, experiencing the pain. I feel it for them. But you see, the children, them, where really and truly can't do nothing about them situation, like they don't have control of themselves. It hurt me to the core. It hurt me to the core. And I teach in an institution that has a lot of inner city students. They have a lot of students that are from various socio-economic backgrounds, and this is why I feel it, you know. And there are a lot of them are depressed, and this is why I feel it. A lot of them live in homes where they are being molested, where they are being abused, and a lot of them live in done areas where they are given up to dons for different reasons. Can you imagine the depressive state that those children are in when they have to stay home? School used to be the only place them could go and get the little freedom, the little peace of mind, the little freedom from the stressors. Can you imagine them who are stuck at home, dealing with the things at home that are burdening them, that are taking away from them? I feel it. I'm not lying. I really feel it. You understand? Me the home, and I think about them, the picnic there. Them one there, I feel it for the most, because I'm thinking about how they are coping at this time. I said, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so emotional about it because I teach them, like I literally have them. And when I sit and I think in some of my classes, and I realize that a lot of the students are absent from the online platform because of various reasons, and some of them are the same ones who are molested, who are abused, who are tortured, who are given up for dance. I'ma feel it. I'ma feel it. I'm not gonna tell in a lie. I really feel it. What we do about things like that and we overlook it, I will feel like, you know, depression. Oh, that not about, that not there Jamaica, that not there. Jamaica is like, and there are a lot of men too when I feel it for. And this is why I feel it so much for the men. You see, because we in our culture, we shut up the man them. They don't know how to show emotions, because our culture, and that includes us as females, shut them up. We silence them. You understand me? And that is why a lot of physical abuse and all of these things keep on happening. So Ayadre says, changing that Changing that happens affects the mind before the body. I swear COVID make me feel locked up. And me for tell you, COVID coming like prison. Tandra says true. I address them, I not lie, I feel it. Listen, I feel it. Precious Gem says that's so true. I wanna cry. I truly you know Precious. And she also says no need to be sorry. It shows that you care enough love from Precious. Precious, thank you so much. I really care for true. I don't have any kids of my own, but I do have hundreds of other people's kids to take care of, and so I take them as my own, so I feel it. You understand me? Enough of them me have to take up in my hand and take care of, literally. I feel it. But that's how important. I'm just saying that to say this, that we should not shun the fact that depression is real. It is real. And it's evident in our Jamaican society now, because a lot of the problems that we are having now as a people in the nation is caused from depression. And I think I'm saying that loosely. I'm not going to say a lot of problems because I did not do any research to confirm this information. But we have problems in Jamaica that are developed by depression. What we're going to do about it? Right? We can't just sit down and be silent about it. And I must commend the mental health advocates that I see coming out recently, because it was not always a thing. It was not always a thing to inform the population about mental illness. We are paying attention to other things when we should be nurturing the minds of our population. We should be nurturing the minds of the society so that we not have dysfunctional beings that we're walking, talking, and moving around with. Because can I tell you, there are a lot of mad people walking around and you don't know because them are mad people in a clean clothes. Right? Ayodre says, for real, man, the males have to shut up or we seem soft to people. Yeah, if men show emotions, them feel soft. That's why them quicker to kill themselves than females. Because they can't talk. If men show their emotions, it coming like them are one little, as Jamaicans would say, sissy. They can't talk. Them can't, and that's why the society stays so, you know. That's why it's hard to find man when no love, you know, and really no for love a woman, you know. Because they were silenced, and enough of them depressed. Lord, I pray for the females out there so them not buck up in a one depressed man. Because to fix the man there, no man, me I tell you, you have it. Precious Gem says, but some of them let their ego get the best of them. Not saying you are wrong though. That is true. That is true. A lot of them let their ego get the best of them. But there are some that really, really and truly are suffering in depression. Arlene Youngsam says, lots of sickness too caused from depression. Yeah. Listen. Believe what I'm telling you, the mind powerful. The mind powerful for true. The mind, that's something here when it's something in that little space of head there, very powerful. It tells the body what to do. Whatever it thinks, the body generates the same type of hormones and the same type of things them for deal with whatever this here, the mind tells it to do. And so a lot of illnesses, we thought them into being. I know it sounds foolish or it sounds silly, but a lot of illnesses, we think so we have it before we have it. Not saying that's always the case, but I'm saying that it's possible. Because in your mind, in your brain, it controls all the other functions of the rest of your body. Shells Bell 876, welcome darling. She says parents of boys have a lot of work to do to ensure the men of tomorrow will be emotionally sound. And me for tell you know, let me tell you, no, people don't understand the work as a parent that they have for a boy child. I'm not even say girl, because I always say girls easier for take care than boys. And this is why I always say that. Check the statistics. If you look at a girl child who you are raising over time, right? And she go outside, the worst thing she can do is breed. Jamaicans would say breed, aka get pregnant. That's the worst thing she could do. But take a look at the boy child. What's the worst thing he could do? become a criminal, thief, steal, kill, all of them the worst things in society. That's a capability of a man, more than even female. Females are like that too, but I'm just saying, at least you can talk to a female and she come back round. You see, when a boy picnic gone, you cannot get him back round until he decides that he wants to change. Right? You cannot get him to turn until he decides that he wants to change. So no matter how you try, fly high or low, to get back this boy child to come back to who he was, it's hard. While with a girl child, it's much simpler. You can literally get back a girl to come back to point A, right? So parents of boys really have it to deal with, because you have to teach them now how to lead. And it's not just leading their relationship, but to lead in their minds, leading their generation, leading their society, because men are meant to lead. When women are there to help shoulder them and cushion them when them fall, to push them and elevate them to lead. That is just the reality. That was how it was meant for creation. And if a man is depressed, if a man of the household, and me not married yet, but I'm speaking to the wives, or the persons in relationship. If a male in the household is depressed, your house bound for in a misery. So we are there, ladies, to uplift the men. And if we don't uplift them, then which man are going to kind of carry we? Where's the men that are going to lead us? So we have to be there to support the men. And remember, they are few in numbers, because uno lock up in a jail from uno dead and uno turn, you know what? You understand? So we have to protect and preserve the ones that are here with us, and we need them. Shells Bell 876 says, we overlook the affection our boys need. I'm happy I'm a girl mom. I could not do it alone with a boy. Can I tell her, Shells? Shells, I always say to myself that the child I want to have is a girl child. Boy pitney are too much stress for me. Especially, hello? Let me tell you how it is important for the fathers to be there for the boys. Because the mothers alone cannot do it for the boy child. The mothers alone cannot do it, because we're going to teach them the emotional side of it, the nurturing side of it. What happened to that side of it, where them going to need to learn how to lead. As women, we were not created to lead. So how are we going to teach them to lead? A lot of broken men are walking around in clean clothes and look clean and nice and are the general, the dapper in the streets. But guess what? A lot of them are depressed. A lot of them are depressed and are traveling with childhood hurt. And it will come off on the person they talk to. Our Precious Gem says, but some males think we are a threat to their manhood. It's not easy. And to be honest with them, Precious Gem, it's not that they think that we're a threat to them, you know. Sometimes we do it as women. Sometimes we belittle and marginalize the men. And we don't even, and that's the thing, sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it, but we do it. Because one thing I know for sure is that when women can do things on their own, them not take chat from no man. Me guilty. Me not lie you. Me not go sit down here so and go like me not guilty of that. I'm very guilty. It's because I know that I can get things to myself and I can do things to myself. I say, oh, me no need no man. If you want to marry, you go on. Them something that marginalizes men, and I am still trying to learn that now, because things like those depress men, right? So I really and truly fight through that, because I was grown in what you would call a matriarchal family, and so I have to be learning how to be, you know, a bit reserved in terms of control. Right? And it not come easy. May I tell you, I still a fight it now. Dr. Jeremy Baldwin. Welcome, Dr. Jeremy Baldwin. It's the first time seeing you on here. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. The best men are the men who have been broken. Dr. Jeremy Baldwin says the best men are the men who have been broken. I would love for you to expound on that. Please to expound on that so we can have a discussion around it. Arlene Youngsam says, teach boys how to share and talk things that bother them. Yes. Teach them how to speak, because we have been silencing the boys over the years that it really has been breaking them. And so we need to teach them how to share their emotions a little bit more. Iadre Patterson says, the best men are the ones that have been broken for real. I want to hear all that go. No, tell me that, please. Jeremy says, there is a lot of material for women, but who really speaks on behalf of men? That is true, Jeremy, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm advocate for men, because I'm a woman. But I really do see that there are a lot of men who are literally crying out, and we are not hearing them because what? It's a woman country, it's a woman world, everything's a female, because we're all caught up in our emotions. That's true. There are rarely any material for men. And you know, Jeremy, being that you said that, I'm going to start to look into that a little bit more and see how well I can foster that here on our live power chat on Naturally Candid. Shells Bell said, Dr. Jeremy, it takes a lot for the broken to be mended. Very much so. Very much so. But I really, really would like to hear why Dr. Jeremy said that the men who are broken are the best. I can't wait to hear that. Precious Gem said, me too, laugh out loud. Precious Gem said, me no need no man. I can just feel the energy I come from that, Precious Gem. But it's, yeah, really and truly, we do need each other. We were created to inhabit the earth needing each other. So, though we say we don't need a man, we really need them. And them need we too. Jeremy says, women just need to give us the space to be ourselves. It's down there, but we have to trust you to really be emotional around you. Women just need to give us the space to be ourselves. It's down there, but we have to trust you. Jeremy, I don't want to stray from a topic, but let me tell you something. I am a woman who gives men space. Come on, believe me if you itch up in you all the time. Like, you for always in my ear, me for always in your ear. No, me not that type of person. I don't like public shows of affection. That's just not me. Right? And you give the man, I realize that some men are in this society. I really don't want to start another eating debate on this. But when you give a man, some men, not all, some men an inch, them take 10 miles. Right? You give them an inch, you say, alright, you're giving them space to do this, and guess what them go do? Them go confide in another female to go share them emotional state with. So in that situation, Jeremy, what do you have to say on that? Shellbell 876 says, that's true. It's hard for a strong woman to submit to a man, especially when the man shows that they are incapable of leading. You know, Shellbell, girl, you talk so much like me now. No, this is exactly a conversation I was indulged in. And it's funny how we leave from talking about depression to right here. So this should show us that depression really leads to many different issues, and this is one of them. Right? It's definitely hard for women to submit to persons who they don't feel are leading them properly. I was having a discussion with this, and I see wherein my girlfriend shared on her channel, The Heart Speaks. You can check that out when you're done. She shared on her channel how where she was speaking to different individuals on how as females we can submit. To be honest, the word submission still rub me wrong. To this day, it rubbed me wrong. And that is because, like I said before, I was grown in more of a matriarchal type of family. So submitting just never in our game. We don't know when name so. You know, everything the man do, we can do it too. Equality and justice for all. But I'm just saying that's a type of mentality that I was growing up in. And can I tell you that I realized how much it's not the right thing to do? It is not. There is a time and place for everything, and sometimes we just literally have to give the men the benefits of the doubt, allow them to lead. If them fall short, yeah, so under quiet, we take time and fix it, because of that we're there for do. We're the fixer man. So we take our time and fix it, but we don't insult them. Because one thing I've realized is that though men don't talk, they're very emotional. They're very emotional. They might not show it, but internally they're dying. So as women, we have to be careful, especially for independent women, especially for my strong sisters out there. I know so we have a thing like, but sometimes we have to give the men the opportunity, as Dr. Jeremy said, to express themselves. Ayadre Patterson says, explanation: men become stronger after they arise from their problems, and once they have arisen, it's more likely that they will be the best fathers, husbands, role models, etc. Thank you so much for that, Ayodre. That really makes a lot of sense. I applaud you for that response. That makes so much sense. But for some persons, it takes a longer time for them to get over this hurdle. So, as women, and I want the men to answer this question. As women, what is expected of us when we go through the struggles? What we for do? How do we help you all in your struggles? Right? That is something I believe that we need the men to answer, because as women, we are really struggling to understand some of you men. Mega have a relationship talk, Mega have a relationship talk, because I realize that you guys are interested in talking about relationships. So I'm gonna have a relationship talk on here. Precious Gem says, what I am confused. Are you saying males are not emotionally stable? Because some of the males I meet, I give them space, but it's like they never return. Some of them say I malice them. No, man, me not say that. I'm not saying that. Some of them are very, very emotionally grounded and emotionally stable. But there are some that would just, I don't know. We can't help that situation. We just have to give them the time that they need. All I was saying in that situation was that there are some males who you give them an inch and them take a mile, or them are a yard, or you give them a little opportunity to be free, and them go and them will confide in other females and them just get wild. That's what I was talking about. So I'm not sure if that cleared up your confusion. Shell Bell 876 says, I was brought up like you too. I have made the life I want. It's hard for a man to impress me. I have the table. I'm not looking for his table. Very well said, Shell's Bell. When I look, and that's what I realized for a lot of females in this era. We're not looking for men to feed us or to babysit us. We have that. So if a man don't come with something bigger than that, like stability, I keep saying that stability is what the women in this generation are now looking for. Because everything else that the men used to do back then, we are now doing for ourselves. So stability is what we are ultimately looking for. Me, all me need for know say is a man have me protected. Once a woman feel protected, the man gets anything we want. And I keep preaching that. Once a woman feels protected, the man gets everything that he wants. Dr. Jeremy Baldwin said, men who have been broken and healed from it understands emotions. Broke people break people. I always say that. I always say, I didn't say break people, broke people break people, but I always say hurt people hurt people. When you do some healing, you tend to be more emotionally attentive. So in that case, Dr. Jeremy, I do agree with you. And as a result of that, I'm going to say to the persons who are hurting, do not jump out of frying pan and jump in a fire. Because if you are hurting and you have not truly healed, you will hurt somebody, right? And that is why the cycle keep continuing. That's why the cycle keep continuing, because people are talking to people and they're not healed. So they're still traveling with the hurt that they haven't healed from, and they cause more hurt, and it's a built up, and then the cycle continues. The person who you hurt got hurt somebody else, and the cycle continues. So let's just change that. Let's be the change that we want to see in this world. Let's change that cycle of hurting people. So if it is that somebody hurts us, we're not going to carry it into somebody else or project it on someone else. We're going to rest it where it is, get over it, and then we move on from the situation. That's very, very, very good. Very good point of information. Ayadre says, all right, Women can help by encouraging, simple, and just show us motherly care and love. Let me address that, Ayadre. As you talk about motherly care and love, I will not be able to provide that for any man because I'll never be able to be his mom. Never. Me and his mother are two different. What his mom would show in motherly love is not what I would show as in wifely love. So I believe that it's important for us as females to be ourselves in the relationship, because I don't know if you ever heard of the term happy wife, happy life. If the female in the relationship is not happy, misery going to happen in the house, because you know how we normally project our emotions. So showing motherly love is not something I think I am going to be able to do, because at the end of the day I will not be able to be that individual's mother. I can, however, be myself and be myself to the best of my ability in order for us to be able to compromise, because we all have different personality. We all have different personality, and so in order to deal with the different personality, we will have to compromise. So in the sense of motherly love, that's not me. Me I tell you straight. Me cannot provide that care. I cannot provide motherly care. I've never had a child. And none never come through me. I don't know how to be a mother, right? Especially to an adult man who should know that I cannot provide that for him, but I can provide the companionship. All right? Shells Bell 876 says stability. Amen, sister. Yes, amen. The most appealing characteristic in a man. And for some reason, them not understand. Some of them don't understand that. That winner is not money and the nice car and the clothes. I mean, some females are looking for that, but the females who genuinely just want to settle down with one person, we not look for that. We are looking for stability. We want somebody who can hold we grounded. We don't want a man where run up and down, or where if I run him down, I wonder which girl him gone to next, or who him a talk to this time, or we can't sit down and trust you. You understand? We have to always watch it. We don't want that, right? We don't want that. And men, this depresses women. And just because we are created to be emotional beings doesn't mean that y'all need to abuse our emotions. We get depressed too. These are some of the situations that depresses us. All right? When we speak of space, it means don't make us feel like we have to be Superman around you. We want to be Clark Kent for you and Superman in the streets. All right, Jeremy, me hear you, Jeremy. Jeremy, me hear you. I understand exactly what you mean by that. So you said you don't want us to... Fine, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's important that men can have their space so that they can feel like you trust them. So understand that. The Heart Speaks says motherly care with 4 question mark. The Heart Speaks is not easy, but yes, that's what the person said. Motherly care. I Andre, you're laughing out no. The Heart Speaks says no, sir. I Andre say I understand. Good. Shellbell 876 say motherly care. No, sir. I'm not my son. Stephanie Samuel says, loving that thought at Dr. Jeremy Baldwin. Yes, Dr. Jeremy Baldwin really put a good thought there. Jerry Patterson said, just show the love and care and things will kind of fast forward in the healing process. Precisely. Love heals all things. And I know that some persons are saying that when you love somebody, are the worst thing you can do. But to be honest, love is the only thing that can heal a broken heart. And it's if you love. Love heals love. Love heals the wounds that love causes. Yeah. Precious Gem says, showing motherly love to some of them makes them feel like you don't see them as being a man. The male probably think we think they are weak, like what you say earlier. Alright, let me just address that a bit. I don't think that they feel like we think that they're weak. I think that when we show them motherly love, they get so comfortable. them get so comfortable and calm that them not feel like them supposed to put in the work that they had to put in at the initial stages of getting involved with you. Oh, no, see, oh, no make me astray from depression. But yeah, I feel like showing men motherly love lets them get too comfortable that they don't feel like they need to continue putting in the work to keep you that same energy and same work that they put in to get you, right? So that's what I think. The art speak says, yes, you know my situation. Yes, darling, I know it, I know it, I know it. But yes, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, because you know, make me stray from depression, but that was a really, really good conversation. And this shows me that the topic of relationship is very important, and I will definitely be mentioning that in my next live. I'm going to do the next live after the holiday break because I'm going to give you all the opportunity to enjoy your families and all that jazz. But anyways, let's continue into the topic of depression. All of these that you guys have been mentioning here in the chat, men expecting these expectations can lead to depression. Men expecting that we're supposed to treat them this way, women expecting that men are supposed to treat them this way, and then when the two of them clash, there's no common ground, only confusion. That can lead to depression as well. And to be honest with you, a lot of persons are going through relationship problems, especially at this time in COVID-19, that is causing depressive feelings, depressive emotions, and that includes persons who are married. I have been taking a look at social media recently, and I'm realizing that a lot of couples who are happily married, guys who are just joining, don't forget to hit the like, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your comment. Now back to what I was saying. Now I realize that a lot of persons who before the pandemic were in love and were posting every day and all of that, me not see no picture of them, the people anymore. I don't see anything on their social media anymore. All of the pictures that were posted prior are now deleted and removed. And I'm looking at that and I'm saying, geez, if you even take a look at something like that, and you would realize how much depression, and being that we're at home, there are lots of persons who don't know how to deal with the issues in the issue. Shells Bell 876 says, communication and seeking professional to help will eliminate some of the mental challenges men face. That is true. That is true, and I cannot stress it enough. I've been stressing it from the start of the life that it's important for us to seek professional help, not only men but women as well. It's important for us to seek professional help and guidance because we really and truly cannot do it on our own. And especially for the men, it is not too small for you to get help. For the men who are watching this live, let me say it again, because no for uno suffer in a silence. It is not too small for you to get help. It's a very serious situation that you guys need to pay attention to as men. We need to know. We need to know. All right, and based on how the society is going, you can truly see that there is a very big decline in the way men are now and how they are perceived to be. Shellbell 876 says professional help, yes. And then Precious Gem says, you do know that some of them don't want to seek help, right? Precious Gem, that's why I'm there and plead to them, because some of them really and truly think that they don't need help. Ego, that was mentioned earlier, is one of the reasons why they feel like they don't need help. And then they were grown and raised in a culture of silence, that anything outside of silence seems abnormal to them. So I think what we need to do, especially for women who are mothers of sons, please to teach your children how to show emotions, how to speak about how they feel, how to talk about matters that are bothering them. Please to show them how to do that. Because if you don't, they are going to end up in the same cycle and culture of silence that we put them in. All right? And when I say we, I mean the general general population. Shellbell 876 says, men just don't like admit when things bother them. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault, because anytime them admit say things bother them, or they talk about how they feel, we tell them, say, boy, you're a fish, Yeah, fish. Yeah, gal. And them something that we ask them. When them start show the emotions and they start to express how they feels, we same one cuss them and tell them say, you is a gal because you know say I chat so much. Me not gonna lie yo. I'm not going to sit here and go and like say me innocent. I'm very guilty of this. I'm not lie. I'm very guilty of this. Because when me feel like a man attack over me, like him want overpower me with them words, I feel like a man supposed to, like, if it's in an argument and I know I'm wrong, but as somebody grow, so as someone know it. I not feel like a man supposed to stand up and argue with me or stand up and tell me how him feel like him want come overpower me and I made the woman when me supposed to attack. You understand me? So we help with that too. We help to silence the men. And it's just the harsh reality, it's just the harsh truth. Me, guilty bad of this. I'm not just talking about other females out there. I'm including myself in this. Very guilty. Shellbell 876 says, if a man does not want to seek help, he needs to be alone. Hurt people. To be honest, Shellbells, you can't even blame the man when he doesn't want to seek help. Because as I said before, some of us women suppress them and suppress their emotions. So some of them don't feel like it's necessary for them to seek help, sorry. Ayadre Patterson say yes. I'm supposing Ayadre is agreeing with me. Dr. Jeremy Baldwin says, as simple as it may sound, a lot of people do not know that they are depressed. It's true, and I said that earlier in the live. Not many people know that they are depressed. Some people believe that it is just a feeling of sadness or a feeling of, just not feeling well today. But you see, if you find that you are being sad ever so often on the continuum, there's no rest. You're always feeling sad. And even if you have that one little light of happiness throughout a day, if the sadness comes back continuously, you are probably depressed, and you need to seek professional advisory when you see situations like these happening. Don't feel like you can handle it on your own, because not everything you can handle on your own. Some things you literally need professional help, professional assistance to deal with. All right. Precious Gems said me guilty. Yes, Precious, me know because you sound like me. So with me and you, guilty bad for tell the man say them chat too much when they're showing their emotions. So I have to work on that, Precious. That is something that we see that we need to work on with ourselves so that we don't belittle the men. Shellbell 876 says, that's true. We want to quiet our boys and then expect our men to suddenly know how to express emotions. Exactly. We can't expect them to know it if we tell them to shut up. We can't expect that. And then even some parents beat their boy child when they start to talk how them feel. I say, yeah, girl, especially for the Jamaican community. Because through me live a Jamaican, me a Jamaican, me can talk for the Jamaican community or the Jamaican society. Right? We beat boy children when them talk too much and tell them, say, yeah, girl, you have to tap it. And that's something that we go wrong with and we need to stop. We're silencing our boys. Stephanie Samuel says, my 4-year-old son is emotionally grounded. Very good on that one. I asked him how he feels, how he's feeling, and show him affection. Tell him I love him as much as possible. Excellent. And I do hope his father does the same thing too. Desh says, the fear of dehumanization plays a big role in depression suppression. That is true. It's true. That is so true. Solid point there, Desh. Shellsbell 876 says, if my body hurts, I go to the doctor. If my emotions hurt, we also need help. Let us begin to create a culture of our males being emotionally healthy. Very good. But listen to this in a shells. We are just a few persons in the population. And we are those persons who probably know about it. The larger society don't understand how important emotional health is. And it's sad. The only time persons really take a look or pay attention to emotional health is when somebody turn a mad, somebody get mad and them literally go fight off somebody, kill them or something, and guess what? Them can't get trouble for it because they were mentally unstable. That's the only time society looks at it. When there are a lot of depressive persons or persons suffering from depression that are so close, to losing their minds, and nobody pay attention to those persons. They are the ones crying out for help. I want to look upon them. It's very serious, and I think a lot this needs to be promoted a little bit more. I'm glad I mentioned this topic because a lot of persons don't know about it, right? Dehumanization, yes, I agree. The art speak says, indeed, Desh. What's that? Yes, ma'am. Dehumanization is basically acting like someone is not human. We treat them in a way where it is like they're not human. That's dehumanization. For Ayodre, who was asking. Shellbell 876 says, that's true. I wish more people were more open to mental stability. Yes. And then we have to look at the part too that not a lot of persons are willing to talk about their mental illness. Not a lot of persons are willing to share that, hey, I am really going through this and I really need help. I can count on my one hand how many of my friends said to me, say, you know, say, Shan, may I go through this? Mark you, I don't have a lot of friends, especially females. I keep a lot of male friends because my personality is strong, and me and some female just don't get along all the time. Because I like to tell people the truth, and if your emotions can work with that, then we can be friends. But for the persons who I have as friends, a lot of them I go through stuff. But guess what? Them internalize it because they don't want to talk about it. And that's me too. When I'm going through stuff, I internalize them and deal with them on my own because I don't want to talk about it. It's not good. And I've addressed that. It's not good. But you have to find that one person that you can confide in and speak to them. That helps a lot. Trust me. Dr. Jeremy Baldwin says, a female wants to know that her man is aggressive and protective. It's a biological instinct. You want us to be strong and emotionally collected while the female goes off. To be honest with you, Dr. Jeremy Baldwin, I don't want my man to be aggressive. I don't want it. I want him to be protective, but I don't want him to be aggressive. Aggression and me just don't sit well. We don't work together. I want my man to be calm and protective because my personality is strong. I need a man that is calm. I can't deal with the aggression. The aggression make me get anxious. And then when my anxiety take me, nice. So I don't want no aggressive men. I want a protective man and one who listens to my plight. Because I am enough aggression myself, me can't deal with a double force of aggression. But I do understand what you're saying though. Very well said. Understood. And Dr. Jeremy, I don't want you to think that your thoughts are going unnoticed. I really appreciate you for joining this live as a male and sharing all these insights with us as female. I really, truly appreciate you. Shells Bell 876 says, remember too that people use your challenges as a weapon. We'll get there. When things go wrong, men are easier to be intimidated. And that is, I'm glad you mentioned that because we know about a situation currently happening now. That, people take your problems and use them against you. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to how you feel about the person. Some of us, we genuinely look and see how the persons that are around us deal with other people. And from that, you can look and say, oh, this person probably really don't need to talk to that person here. You understand me? Because if I can look at this person here and see that this person is doing this to another person who me don't know, but them are doing it to them with me, then you can safely tell yourself who you can share the information with from who you cannot share the information with. And a lot of times we overlook the little red flags that could have saved us from a lot of the embarrassment. So take that into consideration when you are sharing information with people. Look at the type of persons they are with other persons. You must have somebody genuine where you can share the information with. Must. There's always that one person. And all you can know, test them. Test them. Tell them something where you think they might think confidential. And hear, listen and see if you're going to hear it from anybody else. If you don't hear it from nobody else, you can safely say, maybe I can talk to that person here. We all need somebody. We all need somebody. No matter what is happening, we all need somebody because we all go through problems. And we cannot continue to internalize them. Then we cause depression, anxiety, and all other mental illnesses. And remember, we have to keep up here so stable because we need it. It processes everything else for the rest of our body. So we have to keep our mental health in check. Precious Gem says, I can't really talk because I'm a child. But like in high school, really, Precious Gem, are you talking with so much sense? But like in high school, males are under a lot of pressure. The highest point of depression, pressure is at high school. They are beginning to sculpt themselves into what? I'm not feel like that finish. Shells Bell 876 says, must have one genuine friend to talk to. Definitely. Precious Gem say, young males to enter society. Okay, so I think that's a continuation. Sculpt them into young males to enter society which have mercy on no man. Right. So we have to be careful of how we treat our boys, as we have been discussing over and over in this live. Ayadre says, I graduated from high school last year at Precious Gem, and I believe high school are the worst and the best phase alive. Remember, I'm going to tell you. Well, that is true, because my worst moment was high school. I enjoyed high school. It was also some of my best moments in life too. But I remember some challenges in high school that, may I tell you, rough. I remember at that time, at that stage of your life, you really can't talk to certain type of adults because they don't believe, say you're supposed to go through them something at that age. They try to protect us so much that them just push we into the problem them. Dr. Jeremy Baldwin says, yes, at Precious Gem, depression is highest in high schools. Universities, another thing. Very much important. And not because children are in high school, that means we must overlook high school being a place of depression, right? Because children do go through a lot. And why they even end up going through a lot is because as a child, not only are boys grown into a culture of silence, but as a child in Jamaica, you are raised to be silent. You know, for talk, I chat back off of me. So a lot of the things that we are going through or we have faced, we have to suppress them and shut them out. Because we don't want the box down, we don't want the kick down, we don't want, you understand me? But to be honest with you, no, I'm not gonna lie. Me used to get licked. I wasn't a bad child, but I did face the bad. I used to get licked from my little mouth. And to be honest with you, them lick, they really mold my character now. Those beating that I got back then really fix my business now. And me look at it now, I'm glad. I'm glad me did get beaten. Because if I had not been molded, the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should grow. And when he gets older, he will never depart from it. And it's true. It's true. So we have to raise our children and raise our boys especially to speak. If we train them to speak or we train them to share what is going on with them, we will not suppress them and they will not get depressed because they'll be in a culture of speaking how they feel, right? And we know, me still learn this now. I'm not going to act like I have it together. I'm still learning this now. I'm still learning how to stop belittling men when they talk, because for some reason it not sit well with me if a man argue with a female. It not sit well with me. But there are other ways in which men can deal with a situation. A man can be talking to a female and he can simply speak with her. He not have to argue with her. So in that sense now, that's where I would say, alright, you know. But we need to stop silencing the men. A lot of them are depressed. A whole heap of depressed man now, they both, especially now in COVID-19. Because them are go through whole heap and they cannot talk about it. Because what? We are going to look upon them like them a girl. Look at the social media popular men are so on social media. Is the women them talk the man them? They're going through it, but because of a culture of silence, it is not safe for them to express how they feel. And people are very brutal. So a lot of these things are causing depression, especially in Jamaica. Ayadre Patterson says the Bible are the blueprint of how we should live. Definitely, not all persons are religious, not all persons believe in the Bible, but I am a firm believer of the Bible. I believe in what it says. And to be honest with you, a lot of all of our issues and challenges that we're facing now, the Bible can show us how to get over them. Like I said, I am not imposing my beliefs on anybody, but I'm just telling you how I cope with my day-to-day affairs. No, guys, it is no. What time is it? I didn't even realize that we were getting over the time. I initially wanted to finish at 10, but you guys have really been a good sport tonight, and you have contributed greatly to this live and conversation. I enjoyed the conversation. I have been filled with a lot of information, and I'm happy to know that you guys entrusted me to join this live and to share with you. Do you have anything else that y'all want to share before we wrap up for tonight? Because I don't want to hold you any longer. I know that some of you have your families and some of you want to watch your favorite shows and them stuff there. Shell Bell says society waits until a man cracks under pressure before they look at them. Remember, conscience is brother. Yeah, yes, that's true. And but that's how society is. Them wait until things go so bad before they start to fix it. That's what it has to end up in. It have to go bad for it to be fixed. It was the same thing with COVID-19. It they have to start break out of control before people start thinking about how to get it under control. Right? So that's exactly how society really are. They just think for the problems, not fixing the problems before they happen. They think to fix the problems after they happen. Right? So we have to change that culture, and the change begins with us. We have to be the change that we want to see in the world. My God, this was such a fulfilling conversation. I feel so full tonight. I feel so energetic, even though I wasn't feeling well, but I'm leaving this live feeling so pumped, so confident that we are about to see some change within ourselves to project onto our the rest of our boys and males and other friends and families. And I thank you guys so much for joining this live. If you have not already, I really need you guys to please support by subscribing and hit the notification bell so you can know when I upload. I thank you guys who are just joining the NC family. Welcome on. I love you so much for coming and adding your contribution. You were a breath of fresh air tonight. Love and light always. Shell Bell says, thanks for hosting this amazing conversation. Shells Bells, you are most welcome. Thanks for embracing me. Thank you so much for sharing your gems. I really appreciate you. AJ Patterson says, overlook necessary and seek out the unnecessary. That's society. Very well so. Dr. Jeremy Baldwin said, I really appreciate the convo. You will see me more often. Dr. Jeremy, thank you so much. I'm glad I genuinely earned your support, because I really love when persons, come and just share genuinely how they feel. Like your nails. Thank you, precious gem. I don't know how you see them. Maybe I come here gesticulate a lot. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm not holding no longer. I don't look like I don't want to leave me tonight, but guess what? I'm going to host another conversation. I'm going to be sharing that on my Instagram page. As always, I always share content on my Instagram page, Shan_inspire. Join me over there. Before we go, I want to remind y'all that I am having a vision board party on the 31st live here on YouTube, right here on Naturally Candid. I believe in productivity. I believe in moving from point A to point B productively. And so for 2021, we have to create our vision so that we can definitely come back big and strong for the new year. So if you guys would love to join me, just get your items, get your materials, all the things that you envision for your life, get the pictures of them, get your straw board or your sugar board or your chip board, that's a different name they call the board, and let us create that vision that you want for your life. It have to come true, may I claim it, and we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna make the vision board the December 31. I think I want to host it starting 5 o'clock because vision board takes time to do. So starting 5 o'clock, right here on Naturally Candid, we will be making our vision board. Get your favorite wine, get your friends them for come over, get your pictures, your materials that you need to create, and let us do this vision board party on the 31st of December 2020. Make it a date, don't be late. When you can't go watch the fireworks this year, so just come join in on the vision board party. Stephanie Samuel says, it was a pleasure to be a part of a most interesting topic tonight. Stephanie Samuels, it was very much my pleasure to have you here. Shell Bell said, I'm ready for the vision board party. Me ready too. Precious Gem said, me too. Laugh out loud, me too enough. Very well. So we are going to vision our life into reality. Law of attraction and visualization, definitely. Definitely, Jeremy, we have to bring our realities into fruition. And I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. Whatever you put out into the atmosphere is exactly what you receive. And let me just share I know I say I'm going now, but let me just share just a little brief thing that happens in my life. I have been doing vision boarding. I realized that it worked for my mom. I saw my mom doing it. She didn't necessarily create a vision board, but she made a note of the things that she wanted from the previous year for the next year. And I realized it worked for her. I started doing vision boarding from 2018. Well, I didn't create a vision board, but I made a list just like what my mom did. And everything that I wrote on that list, I was able to achieve. And this year, 2019, my friend and I, the art speaks, you can check out her YouTube channel as well. She literally speaks from her art as well, so you can check her out too. She and I created our vision board in May. Now, though that was a late start to the year, I still created my vision board, and everything on that vision board came through before December, the end of December. So I am just sharing that to say this, guys. Anything that you visualize and you put on paper, whether you write a list, whether you do a checklist of the items, or whether you create an actual vision board where you can see, it really does work. So I implore you guys, please to create your vision boards or even make a checklist. But I'll be having a vision board party. You are all invited, and I can't wait to have this party with you guys. So I'll see you in the next video, I guess. And I love you all. Thank you so much for supporting. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to more of you. Before I go, Shells Bell say, I began with a list too. I accomplished everything on it. Good. So Shells Bells, you know how this thing go. You know it very effective. Thank you for coming, guys. I will be creating on that night. Very good. Ayadre, you can actually come over, cause like you're the next door, so you can come over. We'll make it together on the live. Yes. Thank you again, guys. I'm gonna have nothing more to say, and I will just see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like, don't forget to smash the notification button. I'm gonna go soon in the next video. Bye, guys. Wait, when again? December 31, Precious Gem. This was dope. Thanks, Dash. Bye, Shells. Bye, guys.